Welcome to another episode of As We Go Along. I am your host, Brian Deershaw. Today, we've got a little, think of it like a bonus episode, if you will. It's a little bit of extra improv that I did with Colleen Weaver and Kim Lockhart. More on them after the comedy. If you are in Denver in the month of December 2016, come down to Voodoo Comedy Playhouse on Monday nights. That includes tonight, if you're hearing this on the day it comes out. The Losers Bracket, the show I run that is full of hilarious two-person teams, is on at 10 p.m. It's a totally free show. It's a great way to round out a Monday evening. Dip in out of the cold, get yourself a drink, and watch a really funny comedy show. Also, you can come see my group War Tiger at Backstage at Barrels. Also, tonight, the day this comes out, and the third Monday of this month. And that is at 8 p.m. Also a free show. It doesn't get any better. So please come out, support what I do, and see some really funny comedians. Thank you for listening to some upfront plugs. Let's get to the comedy, and I will tell you all about Colleen and Kim's stuff right after. Bye.
Welcome out there. This is the Toothpaste Tasting Hour.
I'm Brianna Fletcher.
And I'm Angela Angelique.
And today, as we do every day, we're going to taste some toothpaste. Get that taste of the toothpaste. We do it so you don't have to. Yes. You know, toothpaste is expensive these days, and you don't want to go out and buy a tube and find out that it's not for you. And when do you get to go back to the store to get another tube? So, we're doing it for you today. And we also today have a special guest.
Yes. So first thing you might be wondering, how many toothpastes are there really out there? Can they really be tasted that many?
Literally hundreds.
Hundreds
of
hundreds.
Toothpastes.
And today, our special guest is the man who names them all. Mr. Jacob Orianta.
Jacob Orianta, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
See, I got into it never thinking, oh, you're gonna be on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is big for me.
Jacob Orianta, you are big for us. I am in the presence of greatness.
Oh, well, I name toothpaste one at a time, like the rest of us.
Jacob, do not be so humble. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have even known that winter mint was a thing.
No, absolutely not. I cannot tell you how many times we have sat here discussing how these names get created, who comes up with it all. And the man is right in front of us as we speak.
I am getting chills.
Well, here's a funny thing. You mentioned mint. Like that's a whole subsection of what I do. It's before I started working with the FDA, everything was just mint. It was just mint. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, I get it, but these all taste weird, right? They all taste slightly different. And I was like, one of the first things I did when I was hired was like, first things first, we gotta get into this mint situation. Because this one, has a piney taste to it. And this one has like, a fresh taste, like a fresh spring day.
Oh my, yes. And you really know how to I don't even think about that, and you tap into that. Yes. And you tap into those different flavors.
And you wouldn't know, unless you tried the toothpaste, you wouldn't know fresh mint. What is that? Fresh mint? Like, okay, that doesn't make sense. But as soon as you get that toothpaste in your mouth, fresh.
Fresh.
Right?
Yes. Fresh mint. And for our listeners out there who are not familiar with Jacob's work, you're going to be, because I'm going to just list off a few. We could all list off a few of our favorite of Jacob's classics.
Yes.
My favorite has to be Cinnamango.
Oh, I love Cinnamango. That's one of my favorites too.
Oh gosh.
It was like, I came up with it and I was like, oh yes, that feels so right. It feels right.
Right.
You know, it's just, and it rolls off the tongue. You know,
Yes.
it's like a Latin lover. Cinnamango.
Oh, yes. Makes me want to kiss my Latin lover right after.
And you can, because your breath is fresh.
Yes, and I do have a Latin lover, so it's perfect. Anyway. My favorite is blueberry balls. I mean,
Yes, blueberry balls. Oh, it's so. Oh, you know what? Actually, we have a sample of blueberry balls
Oh,
here,
yes,
so
yes.
let's all have a taste.
Okay. See, there's also there's a procedure when you're naming toothpaste. You know, I take a little bit with my finger, with my index finger, and I will rub it on my gums. You know, much like you know those 80s cop movies, and they're like, "Ooh, here's
cocaine.
it's the cocaine, yeah." You know, that doesn't actually work. That'll just get you high. It's really good for getting you high. But it is also really good for when you want to really explore a toothpaste. And so I just rub it on my gums, like this, and then I'll go in for another little swipe from the dish, and then I'll write on my tongue.
oh,
Because you see, what most people don't know is that your tongue has different areas of sensitivity. You know, the front is sort of like a sweet, and the sides are sort of like a bitter. And so if you want to really experience it, you have to roll the toothpaste across
I
your
just
tongue.
have this blueberry balls exploring my tongue right now.
And the thing with blueberry balls that is so wonderful, especially with this technique that you're talking about, is it is like a ball. And
Yeah.
then like as you put it in, it bursts open. And it's just, I can't,
Yes.
It's like
I'm in heaven right now.
it's like if like a fruit gusher
Yeah.
was in toothpaste form, and it was only the blueberry ones.
Yes, and it has the texture of tapioca.
Yeah.
Like tapioca gusher.
So kind of disgusting, you know, really, really makes you want to, immediately reject it. But you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
Because just like tapioca, eventually it becomes okay. Not great, but okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So for our listeners out there, if you are a texture person and you gag at, the tapioca texture,
Which I do.
take this technique that we just learned about and use that. And then you can experience the true blueberry ball flavor.
And, a fun side story. This was one I had to kind of sneak by the FDA because, it's a little risque, right? It's a little out there.
I don't
Well, we don't know yet.
follow.
Yeah.
Oh, balls?
There's balls of flavor.
Yeah,
There's balls of flavor in the toothpaste.
well, when I presented it originally to the FDA, they said, do you mean, it kind of sounds like testicles. Like male
What?
testicles.
Oh my God. Are we allowed to have that on our podcast?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
We can edit it out later. If we'll check, we'll do a double check.
Oh my God. I get it now though. Blueberry balls.
It's like, well, and it's also kind of like blue balls.
Oh my goodness.
And we all know what that is, right?
I mean, I've heard of it. But
I've
it's a myth, right?
yeah, it's a myth.
It's definitely a
Like
myth.
the female orgasm.
I mean,
Which brings me to my next favorite flavor, orange-gasm.
Orange-gasm. How'd you get that by the FDA?
they had no problem. Just right away, they're like, oh yeah, if it has to do with objectifying a woman, get it through the door. They couldn't get it through fast enough.
Well, men have orgasms as well, so. Oh.
Huh.
You're right.
Or, wow.
So-
This is the first time that I've ever really felt torn about having a guest on our show in the middle of interviewing them. Usually it kind of just goes swimmingly without any kind of, insulting language. happening on the show.
Oh, have I misspoken?
It's okay. Sometimes she's a little bit sensitive.
It's just it's not necessarily having to do with you, but just the enlightenment that I'm receiving right now about the toothpaste industry is it's shocking. And
the toothpaste industry is a boys' club for sure.
I mean, think about it though. I mean,
And
we shove a stick in our mouth and rub it around.
You're right. And
it's a very aggressive.
Tom's of Maine does not sound like a female.
No. Colgate.
Yeah, Cole.
Gate.
Yeah.
Cole, a guy named Cole. Gate, a barrier.
Oh my gosh.
Or like Bill Gates.
So that's just the symbolism. That's just symbolism right there. That's really interesting. I wish that I could boycott it, but I do enjoy having clean teeth and this podcast.
I also love the flavors. So how could we give that up?
I
mean, sometimes you just have to,
accept. Actually, sometimes I guess maybe you do just have to give it up.
Oh, maybe that would be.
I guess you guys, I think I'm going to announce this is my final show.
Oh my goodness.
The toothpaste tasting hour is suddenly not for me anymore.
Wow. Well, if you're giving it up, I mean, I must give it up. I can't do this without you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could just go back to just baking soda and water paste. Remember when we used to just make our own toothpaste and it tasted horrible. And that's why we started this show, because we just became connoisseurs of different flavors of toothpaste.
Yes. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with this, but I will support it and I will be there for you.
Man, change is heavy. Change is heavy.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, Jacob, thank you so much, because you've just shifted my entire life.
I'll let you in on a little secret. The gum industry, completely run by women. And it'll get your breath fresh.
Oh. The gum gobbling hour.
Yes, gum gobbling hour. Please, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to our guest, Jacob. And please join us again next week for, I guess, the gum gobbling hour.
Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.
That is going to do it for us today. Once again, my special guests were Colleen Weaver and Kim Lockhart. They are the improv duo John Bon Jovi's, which you can see around town in Denver. They're so hilarious. They're so hilarious. Colleen and Kim also are part of The Story of You, which is an improvised show based around the works of Ken Burns. So sort of a documentary of like an audience member. A lot of fun. And also, next week, I believe it's December 11th, at Mutiny Information Cafe is Binge Watch Live, but a very special one. It is a improv mixer. So you come down at 6:30 p.m., you hang out, you get your name signed up, and hang out with some great improvisers, and then get matched up with some other great improvisers and just do some comedy. So if you're into that, doesn't matter how experienced you are, just come on down, 6:30 p.m., Mutiny Information Cafe, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a real good time. I'll be there. So, if you want to say hi, please do. As for me, you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Instagram, it's Brian at Brian Deershaw, BryanDierschow. On Twitter, I actually do have a As We Go Along pod Twitter page that hopefully I will have a lot of fun stuff on. So you can hit me up there. And on Facebook, you can go to the As We Go Along Facebook page. You can find me, Brian Deershaw Comedy. You can find my personal page and become my friend. And then you can see the infrequent posts that I have. I think that's going to do it. If you like the show, tell a friend. I am up on iTunes, so please, give me a nice 5-star rating and give me a review. That really helps me out. And that's going to do it. That's going to do it, my friends. So until next week, go out and make something.
Should I
Man spread as much as you want.
Should I get more better?
You should get more better. Yeah, you just you
Do Tonight's episode is brought to you by Jerry's More Better Training to make you more better at everything. Jerry, he's a great guy. He actually took me aside during
you're damn right I did.
Yeah, during one of our classes, he actually called me out. It was quite embarrassing in front of everybody, and he really just laid into me until I decided to be more better.
Sometimes you got to be low to get high.
Yeah, and he really sunk to some lows. He was definitely hitting low blows.
And now I'm high all the time.
And so
are you.
Baked. Oh yeah. That was the best part of the seminar, was that we just clam baked the whole place.
Oh, did we mention this was about pot?
Oh yeah, this whole podcast is actually a podcast.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I was here for the workout info.
Oh,
I could have you work out the resin from the inside of my bong.
It's like a good scrubbing action, good for your delts and trouts.
Oh, I enjoy vigorous scrubbing, so I would love to do that for you.
Then you got to step ahead.
Kim enjoys vigorous scrubbing. Kim enjoys vigorous scrubbing. Kim enjoys vigorous scrubbing.